So should you do a braid down or should you mold your hair for a quick weave? I don't know, that's up to you, but I'm gonna go over the pros and the cons of each, and then hopefully you can make the best decision for your hair. Let's start with the braid down. When it comes to a quick weave, the whole point is for it to be quick. They don't want this to take a long time, whether that's your stylist, your beautician, or you. Some people find it to be quicker to braid the hair down instead of molding it, because if you mold it the technical way, you're doing it on wet hair and you sitting under a dryer, it takes a long time for that mold to dry and get hard. So for some people, doing that braid down is quicker. Now, when it comes to gluing the tracks on, some people just use a cap. Some people use a cap and protective shield, morning glory, a liquid cap. Either way, I want you to see what happens if some of that glue gets on your real hair, because I don't believe that the cap alone is enough to protect your hair from the glue, and sometimes the glue can get past that morning glory. So we're gonna pretend that this green hair dye is the glue that will get on your hair if you do a quick weave, because if we're being honest, some of that glue gonna get on your hair. It might not be a lot. It might just be a tiny bit, but some of it is gonna get on your hair. So I'm gonna put this green dye wherever you would glue a track. What happens when you take down your quick weave? When you get ready to take it out and take it down, what's gonna happen? See the braids? When you start taking the hair down, the green or the glue is all throughout your hair. See how that braid was up there? Now you taking it down, you got glue all the way down here. Now you can see green is all throughout your hair. So even though it would be trace amounts of glue, it's still all through your hair. Which means what? When you get ready to take your hair down, you have to go through your entire head and comb glue out of it. Even if it's a small amount, nobody wants glue stuck in their hair. So what about a mold down? A lot of people don't like to do mold downs because it takes away from it being a quick weave. It's still a quick weave, but it's not the quickest weave for some people. That's if you're doing it on wet hair. I never mold my hair on wet hair. I always blow it out first and then just apply the gel to my hair while it's dry. That cuts down the drying time, baby. 15 minutes, I'm drying my hair. You go from sitting under the dryer for an hour and a half to 15 minutes. I also don't use a hooded dryer when I mold my hair for a quick weave. I use a handheld dryer. It goes so much faster. It literally takes me 15 minutes to do a mold on my hair. It could take 15 to 20 minutes just to braid hair for a quick weave. So pros and cons. Also, if you don't know how to braid, you can still get a quick weave. All you gotta do is mold it. Everybody don't know how to braid hair. Some people can't French braid. Some people can't do an underhanded braid. Do that mean you can't do a quick weave? It sure don't, because you could do a mold. Also, if you were to mold the hair and glue got on that mold, now in order for this to work, you have to have a very hard mold. Like let me hold on. That's not the mannequin. That's her hair that hard. You can't even stick your finger through it compared to down here where you can get all up and through there. I didn't mold this part super hard. The whole head got to be that hard. Now let's use the orange dye and pretend that it's glue. Now if glue were to get on your molded hair and it was able to make it through the cap or the liquid cap, it would be on top of this mold. It would not penetrate the mold. Remember, those braids were soft, so it was able to penetrate through the top layer of the hair, of the braid. This not getting through the rest of your hair. It's only gonna be on top of this mold. So for me, if I only got glue on the top of my mold, all I would have to do when I was getting ready to take my hair down was remove the mold. And you talking to somebody who did this for years to get to a club. Like, I ain't had time to waste. I ain't had time to take all day. And I ain't had time to take all day taking no hair out. And I'm also keen on preserving my real hair. That's the whole point of these styles. I'm not doing nothing that's gonna take out my real hair, baby. All you would have to do was lift up this top layer of hair. And you can see there's no glue under there. So you could separate the top layer of your hair and just comb that glue out. And all this hair, show you the other side. Literally, this is where I am sticking my finger, y'all. At the very top. I'm not all the way down here. You see that? No glue. So you would only be combing through this top layer of your hair instead of glue all throughout your head, which makes for a way quicker takedown. Also makes for much healthier hair. You're not gonna lose no hair. You only combing through this top layer where the glue would be. So should you do a mold or should you do braids? That's up to you. That's up to your skill level. That's up to your patience. This mold down took me 15 minutes. How long did it take you to braid some hair down? And how much time do you want to spend taking your hair down when you take the quick weave out? I don't know. That's up to you.